What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with another review for Ready to Love. This is season 7. I don't know what episode this is. This is season 7, episode 12. Too Much Baggage is the title of the episode. So before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribe to the channel, turning your post notifications on, and sharing the video. And with that out the way, without further ado, let's get into Ready to Love, shall we? All right, you guys, so this episode, we have one more episode into the season. Well, next week is the season finale. Thank the good Lord for that one, right? This season has not been my favorite. It's not my favorite, but it's better than the last. I guess I can say it's a little bit better than the last Miami season, right? I'm not really looking forward to this season being over because if you guys don't know, they're coming to Dallas next, and then they're going down to, I don't know what part of Louisiana they're going. I don't know if they're going to Shreveport or if they're going to New Orleans, but they're going to Louisiana after they do Dallas. So I'm really not 100% looking forward to Dallas because I live here in Dallas, and you guys, so if you guys don't know, when it comes to me and Ready to Love, some of the cast members like me on Ready to Love, others do not like me, right? And the DC cast, the Potomac cast, and the first Miami cast, a good majority of them don't like me, right? There are now, you know, remember the Ready to Love Houston cast, that was the first season that I ever reviewed. And a good majority of them, they have, you know, a good majority of them have definitely reached out to me and talked to me via social media. And they were, you know, we were cool with each other. I can't think of who I still know from the Houston cast at this point. Cause I used to converse with them a lot on my old Twitter. The DC cast, the only person from the DC cast that I ever really like communicated with on social media was Sabrina. Sabrina and I used to, you know, tweet each other quite often. Potomac cast, none of them, not a one. The last Miami cast, I can tell you guys that, you know, Kayla, Jamala, Trinika, who else? It was quite a few of them. Oh, Samson. It's some more that I can't think of right now, but the last Miami cast, I had a good majority of them. Actually, a good majority of them either follow me on social media or we used to DM with each other, right? And this cast right here, Tony and I communicate with each other quite often. Marcia, I think that's it. Yeah, Tony and Marcia are the only two that I really talk to from this cast on social media. But yeah, Dallas, I have no idea what Dallas is gonna have in store for me. Oh, we will see what Dallas has in store for me. I'm a little bit nervous. I will say I'm a little nervous because Dallas is pretty small. And like I said, some people from Ready to Love can take what I say and they respect what I say. Others get offended by it. Like Randall from the last Miami cast. He didn't like some of the things that I said about him, which by the time we got to the end of the season and the reunion, everything that I said about him was true. Like, what the hell, right? But yeah, Dallas, we'll see how Dallas plays out. You know, I'm hoping I don't know anybody. I'm hoping I don't know anybody from the Dallas cast, but that's probably kind of hard. That's probably going to be slim to none, right? Because the black scene in Dallas is pretty small. But I might not know anybody. I'm hoping I don't. But I'm sidetracking from this episode. This episode really wasn't like all that good. There were some parts in here that we're gonna talk about. But so this is the last Gentleman's Lounge. So we got our final four. You guys know we got Anthony, we got Tony, we got Mark Anthony, and we have Andre and his Medea microphone. So They meet up. They're not in the Sinning Church Lounge this time, right? So they're in a new lounge. So Tommy basically tells them, all right, so I want you fellas to introduce these ladies to your family. So, you take them to that creepy uncle that you got. Because y'all got one. And, introduce him to Pookie. His name might not be Pookie, but you got one. Okay, Tommy, we got it, right? So the first date we got is Tony. He is introducing Morgan to his sister. And you guys, so I've told you guys last week, Tony does watch my reviews. Tony watched my reviews, and we, like I said, we talked via DM, and we actually talked this Monday. There are some things that I'm not gonna tell you. There's something he told me that was just between me and him, so I won't tell you guys what that is. But overall, Tony is a really cool person. From the conversations that I've had with Tony via social media, very cool person, right? Tony even said that he would like to come on my platform and go live, around the time of the reunion, and I think we'll do that, you guys. I think I'll just tell Tony whenever we'll pick a time to go live, and we'll talk with each other, right? But yeah, you guys, Tony is a cool guy. From like I said, from the conversations we've had back and forth via DM, he's very cool, and he does respect what I say. He's like, even though I come at him hard sometimes, he respects what I say, and I appreciate that. So Tony introduced his sister to Morgan. Gotta say, I love his sister, right? And they actually look exactly alike. Like, I was like, wow, they do look like twins. They could pass for twins after Morgan said it, right? So Tony told his sister, like, I think I found the one. And she started laughing. I was like, sister must have heard this before, right? Because she looked at him like, nigga, please. So Morgan came in and sat down. And Morgan, I will point out one thing for Morgan. That dress that you wore, your armpits. You had a hole in your armpits. So I'll just tell you that next time you wear that dress on camera, if you wear that dress on camera again, don't lift your armpits, because we saw the hole. Well, I know I saw the hole, right? But so, when Morgan sat down, Tony's sister was still laughing. I was like, this sister is not taking this serious at all, right? So she was asking Morgan about, this relationship with Tony, right? So Morgan says that, she likes Tony because Tony is a man's man. Now, my question is, what is a man's man, right? But then she also says that she has an issue with the fact that, it's a problem to get Tony to come down from the macho side, right, and be more soft. And I was like, okay. I mean, I guess. Also, you guys, so Tony, we did, like I told you guys, we talked via the DM, right? Tony and I talked, and we talked about the situation with him and Morgan and Lyndon, right? They see, I mean, I don't know if they don't see it while they're filming or not, because like I said, we've had a conversation about the fact that Morgan was clearly using Lyndon to make him jealous. Like, she clearly was doing that, and Tony played into her hand. And I think that Morgan, again, is a sweet young lady, right? I think she's sweet, but Morgan also has her issues with her as well. And I mean, I've told Tony about himself. I told Tony he's a slick talker, and I said on camera, and I said to him in the DMs, Tony is a slick talker. He's good with his words, right? So Morgan also feels that she and Tony need counseling. And I was with Tony's sister when she said counseling. I was like, girl, wait a minute. Say what now? Counseling? Like, I can see it if you two were in a long-term relationship, right? And you're getting to the point where it's like, okay, are we going to make that commitment to each other to get engaged and then get married? But y'all ain't even in a relationship with each other, and you want to go to counseling. If you have here's my thing, right? If you have a communication issue and you're not even in an exclusive relationship, that says something right there. That says this is not a viable relationship if you feel that you guys have communication issues and you guys haven't even made that effort to say, we're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend, we're going to be exclusive with each other, right? Because what'll happen if you guys say, okay, we're going to be exclusive, and then what happens if you guys say, okay, we're going to move in together? These issues are going to be like, you're just basically stacking issues on top of issues. And the biggest one just out the gate is communication. And you guys, I have an issue with Morgan, because Morgan wants to place all the blame onto Tony, right? And yes, Tony has his issues, but it's not all Tony. Like I just said, with Morgan, for a good majority of this, I hate when they say process, I hate journey, and I hate connection. I want us to find new words other than journey, process, and connection, right? So I'm not gonna say it, right? Throughout this whole, situation, Morgan has, like I said, she's pitted Tony and Lyndon against each other, right? And now that Lyndon is gone, the chase, the thrill is gone away. Like everybody says on social media that Tony is a red flag. I agree, you guys. I do agree that Tony is a bit of a red flag. And Morgan is also a red flag. Morgan is also a red flag. I am not going to let it slide that she said that she nared that man's hair. Like, I just can't get past that. That is something that I cannot get past. So, yes, Tony has some things that you can see, right? You can see some things with Tony, but you can also see some things with Morgan. Like, when it comes to Tony, I believe, when it comes to Tony, I believe he can be a little bit possessive. Because, let's just go back to how he was with Lyndon. That was a little bit possessive. That was possessive. And, it could, to the outside looking in, it does look a little bit aggressive. I'm not saying that you're aggressive, Tony. It just looks that way, right? So, yes, Tony has his issues. Morgan has her issues. And we're going to talk about Tony deeper in a little bit. So, Tony's sister did not like her bringing up the counseling. She says she does like Morgan, but she's not sure if Morgan is for Tony. And I can agree. These two shouldn't be together. No. That is that relationship would be hella toxic. That would be a toxic relationship with her and Tony. Oil and water, it's like oil and water, they don't mix. You put a flame to gasoline, it boom, combusts, right? That's what I get. That's what I see when I get those two. So then the next day we have is Anthony. So Anthony is introducing Cynthia to his cousin, right? And before Cynthia got there, Anthony was basically telling his cousin that, he's like, what do you like about Cynthia and what don't you like about Cynthia? But the biggest thing that he says about Cynthia is that ex, what was his name? James. James is going to be a problem because I think that James still probably holds a flame towards Cynthia. And you guys, so I tweeted tonight about Cynthia, like, I said, what did I say? Cynthia is my girl, and whoever picks Cynthia, you better treat her right, or else I'm coming down to Miami to check your ass myself. And she responded to my tweet, and she said, yeah, let them know. You guys, I really, really love Cynthia. I think Cynthia is a beautiful woman. I think she's a sweetheart. I just really want the best for Cynthia. And when it comes to Anthony, right, I like Anthony, but when it comes to Anthony, I can't really get a good read on Anthony. Like, that's really where I'm at with Anthony. I think he's a good guy. I just can't get a great read on him. And I'm really trying to read Anthony and figure out who Anthony is, right? But I do believe that Anthony likes Cynthia, and his cousin likes her, right? So we good with Anthony and Cynthia. We're good there, right? So let's pause here and move forward. All right, you guys. So the next scene is Andre and his family. So Andre is introducing Cynthia and Jeffrey. Good God. He's introducing Jeffrey and Cynthia to his sister and his niece. The first thing I want to say about Andre, did you comb or brush your hair? Because it just really didn't look like it, right? And then his sister and his niece. Though, whoa. I mean, they had bundles galore in their hair, and then they had baby hairs on top of that. I was like, oh my God, baby. One thing about this family, they love some hair. It might not be the best looking hair, but they love some hair. No shade to the sister or the niece. Y'all were really pretty. You just had a lot of, you could have used one less bundle, and them baby hairs was just, oh, I mean, them a lot of baby hairs. But now I will say, when it came to his sister, I felt like his sister was passing judgment on both Cynthia and both Jeffrey about the fact that they have children. Now, Jeffrey, what in the moo hell did Jeffrey, that dress? I was like, girl, where are you going with this monstrosity of a dress on? Jeffrey is so fake. So when Jeffrey came in, she blew kiss. I'm like, girl, just be you. Come in, say hi. Do you hug? Like, Jeffrey is extra, and she does a lot. And in that goddamn baby voice, oh my God, she sounds like, it just gives Michael Jackson voice. God, will you please talk in your real voice? Like, I don't know if your voice is deep or what. I actually like a woman who has a deep voice. I like a woman who has a deeper voice. Like, it's nothing wrong with it. Like, if you have a deeper voice, it's okay. Talk in that deep voice. I don't have an issue with that. I know some people might perceive that as, oh, you kind of sound masculine. It's fine, baby. If you got a deep voice, you got a deep voice. There are some men who have high voices. Now, I will say men with high voices is kind of annoying, but it's their voice and they talk in it. Like, I'll give you guys a perfect example. Somebody who has a high pitched voice, that's a man, and it's hella annoying. Carlos King. God, his voice is so annoying. That high pitched frequency that comes out of that man's mouth is bothersome. Oh, his voice is so annoying. Neither here nor there, right? But like I said, the sister, I just felt like the sister was being a little bit judgmental of Jeffrey and Cynthia, because she didn't really like them for either one of them for Andre. And it's like, sis, even when Jeffrey said, you gotta question your brother, like, out of all the women that were in this, okay, I gotta go looking at the thesaurus and find another word for process. In this whole journey, there we go. In this journey that they embarked on, your brother went for the two women who have children. What does that say about your brother? Nothing, honestly. But what I do question about your brother is this bird's nest and this Medea microphone. Those are the things that's questionable, right? But it is what it is. Let's pause here and move forward. I didn't expect for this review to be that long. Next up, you guys, Tony and Morgan. This is the scene that we're probably going to go a little deep into, right? So Tony and Morgan, they met up for a solo date, right? So Tony was telling Morgan that, after the date with his sister basically felt the way about her saying that they needed counseling, right? And I gave you guys my thoughts and opinions on them needing counseling. I don't necessarily agree with that, right? That's, like I said, that speaks volumes to the relationship. If you guys are not even committed to each other and you guys are already having communication issues, that means that you don't need to embark on this relationship with this person. And that goes for both Morgan and for Tony. But more so Morgan, because she feels that Tony doesn't effectively communicate with her, I guess, right? And again, we don't see everything that happens in this show, and I think that's one of the detriments of Ready to Love, that we don't see everything. So now the other thing that I want Morgan to stop saying about Tony is the fact that he makes her look like a fool. No, ma'am. You make yourself look like a fool. You made yourself look like a fool when you heard from Tony's mouth that he said it to Lyndon that if Marcia were still there, he could have you. I wouldn't have stuck around. I would have sent Tony home. I would have told Tony, bye. Like, you literally told him that if Marcia were still in this process, that he could have me as if I'm some kind of consolation prize. Nigga, you got me fucked up with Chuck. Like, I would have sent Tony home. But again, this is Morgan. And like I said, Morgan likes the chase from Tony, right? So for you to say that Tony is making you look like an ass and making you look foolish, no, ma'am. You are doing a good job of that yourself. Stop blaming Tony, right? Because once, like, as the old people say, once someone shows you who they are, believe them. Like, I don't know what more to say to you. Because my feelings would have been hurt if I heard that, and I would have been like, damn, that's how you really feel? Like, you told him that if another woman was here, that he, basically he could have me like I'm a cow, like I'm a prized possession cow that you're giving away. No. But that's the one thing I really want for her to stop saying, right? I want her to stop saying that. So, Morgan, she is now questioning Tony, right? Because Tony had an entanglement with Natasha. I kept thinking to myself, who the fuck is Natasha? I'm like, who is... Now, mind you guys, so when I originally watched it, I was out to eat. So I wasn't really looking down at the... I was watching it on my phone, so I wasn't really looking down when they showed Natasha. So Natasha was the light-skinned woman with the frizzy hair. And I'm pretty sure her hair frizzed up because I think they had filmed that, they had been filming for hours and that heat had got to her hair. So what happened is, after the first mixer, when Natasha got sent home, she slipped Tony her number. Okay, I don't see anything wrong with that, right? So Tony said that him and, Natasha went out on a few dates, and, one thing led to another, and bing, bang, boom, they did the do. Okay, I don't see anything wrong with that, right? And I know I saw people on social media tonight saying, oh, but y'all was saying this and this and this about Blake, right? Yes, people gave Blake a hard time, right? And I give Tony, and I think all of us on social media and us reviewers give Tony flack. We say what we need to say about Tony, right? When Tony is wrong, we call Tony out. And I'm about to call Tony out in this particular moment, right? So here's my issue with that, right? I don't have an issue that he went out on a date with Natasha and he had sex with Natasha. Technically, no, I don't really have an issue with that. Is it a little foul and janky? Yeah, it's hella foul. But the thing is, Tony and Morgan are not in a committed relationship, so he didn't cheat on her. So for her to be so upset, it's giving that her and Tony have already had sex. Like, I keep thinking to myself, I'm like, y'all have had sex, because for you to be this upset, Tony done dicked you down at some point. Like, I don't know when he dicked you down, but he definitely dicked you down. Like, that's all I got. Tony and Morgan obviously have done it. Maybe they did it on the retreat, but it was the way she was acting. I'm like, girl, you done definitely got some dick from Tony. You've gotten something, right? You can't tell me she ain't. Like, she doing all of that, and then again, like I said, I have an issue because let's say that Natasha was still in this process. That would have it would have messed things up, and it would have messed a lot of things up. Is it wrong that he had sex with her? I mean, they're grown adults. They're grown, consenting adults. I just don't like it because it just doesn't look right. It just don't look right. Because, and this is just my interpretation, right? It kind of looks away. Because when you think about it, this show is called Ready to Love, right? And I'm not saying that Tony's not ready to love. I'm just saying it makes it look like, because if you say you went out on a few dates with her, right? Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with going out on some dates with a woman, as nothing is wrong with having sex with a woman. Again, they're consenting adults, right? But let's just say she was still in the process and that word had got around. It would then look like you only came here just to have sex with a woman. And I'm not saying that that's what it is. It's the perception. It's the perception. It looks that way, right? It really looks like you came here just to have sex. Because, I mean, damn, when did y'all have sex? Because, I mean, she left the first episode. Shit. I know he says it was before he had this connection with Morgan, but goddamn, when did this happen? Like, so many questions come into my brain. When did this happen? When did this happen? Like, yikes. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I got nothing else. I just don't like that, you guys. And again, I want to repeat what I said. They are two consenting adults. They can do whatever the hell they want to do. It just doesn't look right for this process. But I mean, let's be real with each other. I think a lot of these people have sex with each other and we just don't know about it, right? Like, let's go back to the Houston cast with Joel and Vernisha. I think Joel and Vernisha had sex before too. That's my personal opinion, right? I think a lot of these people have sex and they don't say anything. I think a lot of them have sex. I think Tony was just the first one to openly admit that he had sex with one of the women. Not a good look, just saying, not a good look. But like I said, I definitely do believe that him and Morgan have had sex because the way she was acting, I'm like, only a person who has had sex with you would act this way. Just my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What I will say I did not like about Morgan was the fact, and it showed her jealousy when she kept calling Natasha the low-hanging fruit. I was like, ma'am, run that back. How is she low-hanging fruit? Technically, Tony's the low-hanging fruit. Tony is the low-hanging fruit because you keep going for the low-hanging fruit that you say is making you look like an ass and foolish. So Tony is that apple. He's that low-hanging fruit. He's that apple that's just hanging from the tree. You see it just dangling. Like, I want that, but I don't need it, but I want it. So Natasha wasn't low-hanging fruit. Tony is. I want you to remember that. I want you to remember that Tony is the low-hanging fruit. It ain't Natasha. Natasha did nothing to you. Your words, not mine. Tony keeps making you look like a fool. Tony makes you look like an ass. But you keep going to him. Make that shit make sense. That's why I said that they've had sex. I'm sorry, they have got to have had sex. Like, what kind of person would do that? I'm sorry. You tell me that you slept with another woman in this process. I find out that you told another person that if another woman was in this process, he could have me. What else has happened? That pool match that him and Lyndon were having when they went away, the getaway. Girl, they were fighting over you as if you were prized possession. I'm like you were, again, a cow that they were just giving away. Like, but she's the low-hanging fruit. I'm not seeing it. Tony's the low-hanging fruit. Again. But you talking about this woman is low-hanging fruit. Girl, do you really realize that you make it like, again, damn it, I didn't mean for this video to be that long. But like, girl, you're making yourself look foolish and stupid and so many other things. Like, Tony is very good with his words. And that's why I keep saying, I'm gonna say it one more time. I believe that they've had sex. You can't pay me to believe that they ain't had sex. I know that I'm positive that they done had sex because remember her ex. Never mind. Let's pause here and move forward. Y'all, I'm trying to breeze through these last few scenes because this video is already long and I didn't mean for it to be. So Jeffrey went out on a date with Mark Anthony and he didn't introduce her to anybody because basically at this point, you know, she's been more connected to what's his name? Andre. Jeffrey is talking about how she's scared to take a risk with him. I'm like, ma'am, please make me understand that. You're scared to take a risk with Mark Anthony, but Andre is in the same boat. Neither one of these men have kids. But okay. Y'all, I really want Jeffrey to go home. I'm sorry. Please send Jeffrey home. Please send Jeffrey home. Mark Anthony, he introduced Mercedes to his cousin Chris over Zoom. And, Chris asked Mercedes if she was engaged. She said no. Has she ever been engaged? She said no. Has she ever been married? She said no, right? So then he asked her, what does marriage look like to her? I wasn't listening. So then he asked her, how does she feel about moving? Because I guess Mark Anthony is considering moving back to New York. And she's like, that kind of scares her because, her job, isn't she a flight attendant? Now, I don't know much about flight attendants. Do y'all have to, I don't know if flight attendants have to be local to somewhere or not. But with her job, she can't just really do that. And I'm okay with that. I really need this season to wrap up, but next week is the finale. Let's pause here and move forward. Child, let's wrap up this goddamn episode. All right, you guys. So Cynthia went on a date after, she met up with Anthony's, was it his cousin? So they went on a beach date. It was a cute beach date, right? Like I said earlier, with Anthony, I'm still really trying to figure Anthony out. I do believe he is into Cynthia, but I'm still just really trying to figure Anthony out, right? So Anthony asked her what a relationship with them would look like, and she basically told him what it would look like. I think they would be a good couple, but again, like I said, I got my good eye. Oh, my battery's about to die. I got my good eye on Anthony, right? And then we get to the gentleman's lounge. So, the men told Tommy what their families thought about, the ladies. Andre was talking about how his sisters didn't think either Cynthia or Jeffrey were good for him. Mark Anthony told, that his cousin liked Mercedes. And Anthony told that his cousin liked Cynthia. And then Tony, he was talking about how Morgan met his sister. Now, Tony, I think your interpretation of that date with both dates with Morgan are way off, right? Way off. Like, you say Morgan definitely did say that y'all could use some counseling, but you say that Morgan's means that y'all need some coaching. That ain't what she means. She literally means counseling. You mean coaching. She means counseling. Those two things are not the same. Coaching is, basically giving you some tips and some tools to help you communicate with each other, right? Counseling, y'all are just basically putting your issues out there. Like, you guys are putting all your issues out there for someone. Now, yes, technically coaching and counseling are kind of similar, but not necessarily, right? Coaching, you're just going to someone to tell you how to effectively communicate with each other. She wants y'all to go to counseling. She wants y'all to put your shit out there. Like, why is it hard for you to communicate with your partner? Try to figure out what's there and what the reasoning is behind that. And then once that person knows what the reasoning is behind why you are not an effective communicator, then they give you the coaching and the tools. But not synonymous. Counseling, coaching, they're not exactly the same. You can get coaching from counseling. You can get coaching from it, but coaching, that's not counseling. You're just going to someone to ask them, like a football coach, right? A football coach, a basketball coach. They just give you plays. You go out and execute it, right? The counselor, not the same thing. So then, he told Tommy that Tommy asked him about their solo date. And he told Tommy, now see, this is the thing that kind of really got on my nerves, right? And it wasn't even Tony. It was it was Mark Anthony and Andre them in the background just laughing when Tony told him that he had an entanglement with Natasha. And Tom was like, wait, but Natasha, the one that left on the first night? Yeah. So what's Thomas' rule? If you're not in the process, right, don't talk to him. Did you hear that, Andre? Did you hear when Tommy said that? So that's why Mercedes didn't check up on you when you were out of the process, because Tommy doesn't want things, and I get that, right? That's where I get Tommy, right? It muddies the waters a little bit when you guys, it's fine. Like, it's one thing when because we see it all the time, right? Where people might not have connected with each other in the process, but once they get eliminated, they connect with each other, right? But Tony kind of muddied the waters, right? Tony really muddied the waters because you were still in the journey of Ready to Love. Natasha was gone. So, yikes. Yikes. I'm not laughing. It's a nervous laugh. That yikes and me laughing, it's kind of a nervous laugh because it's like, yeah. Again, Tony's a grown ass man, right? He can do whatever he wants, but you really did muddy the water, right? Because what if that, like, here's the thing that I will say. What if Natasha was the type of girl who, let's just say Natasha still kept in touch with some of the other women, right? And what if Natasha had communicated with Morgan or even Marcia and said, girl, and they said, girl, you know, I'm connecting with Tony. Girl, Tony fine. Oh, girl, Tony do this to me. Tony do this. Tony, you know, be talking to me all night. Tony, you know, take me out on dates outside of the camera. And she was like, you know, and let's just say that she was the type of person like, bitch, what? Tony did what with you? Girl, did Tony tell you that after the mixer, me and him went out on a few dates, right? No, Tony didn't tell me that. Oh, he didn't. And then me and Tony had sex. Bitch, what? Y'all had sex? And then, you know, then the girls come back like, Tony, so, you know, I had a conversation with Natasha. Oh, yeah, what was that conversation like? Do you really want to know? So she told me, and this is just me acting, right? So she told me that, you know, you and her had went out on a few dates. Oh, she told you that. Anything else you want to tell me? No. Ain't nothing else that I want to tell you, right? Like that. And I'm not saying that that's what Tony would have done, but I'm just saying like that could have happened, right? Where she could have had conversations with the ladies and told them y'all went out on a date, had sex, and then it comes back to you and it's an uncomfortable, awkward conversation. Like you sitting here building a connection with me, and you done already went far with someone else. You done stuck your penis in another woman. Like I kind of understood Morgan's frustration to an extent, right? Because it kind of does look like, damn, Tony, you playing a game, like. So, but the thing is with Tony, he told Morgan. Now I don't know when he told Morgan. That's another question. When in the hell did you tell her that you slept with this girl? Like, and it's obviously, oh, Tony, I can't defend you. Not that like I was gonna defend you, but I really can't defend that, right? Because it does not seem like you told her, like, oh, this seems like it was recent. This definitely seems recent. This seems like it probably happened after Lyndon went home and it was just you and her. Oh, God. Oh, I think that's what it was. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I know you will. I know you're going to correct me if I'm wrong. Because you definitely did tell me you weren't too proud of these last two episodes, and I see why. Yeah, so it came down to Andre had to make a decision between his two connections, more so his one connection. But he ended up keeping Cynthia, so we're going into the season finale with Jeffrey, Cynthia, Mercedes, Morgan. Is that it? Is it 4 women, you guys? Is it 4 women and 4 men? I can't even remember who else left in the women with the women. I believe that's it. But that's the episode, you guys. God damn, this is a 40-minute video. I did not mean for this video to be so long. Like the video, you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Turn your post notifications on. Share the video. And until the next time, you guys stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See you guys later.